I was a huge fan of Mario ever since I played Super Mario Bros. On the NES when I was young. Oh, I'm a fan of Luigi too, cause he was the second best of one of the characters in the Mario universe since Luigi's Mansion. At the summer afternoon, I was playing Super Mario Galaxy on the Wii, when you get to collect grand stars along the way, while on the mission to rescue Princess Peach from Bowser. Then I heard a knock in the door. I paused the game and opened the door to check and see who's knocking it, but there's no one there. I looked around until I noticed that there is a mailbox on the floor. I took it in, closed the door and opened the box. I saw the cartridge inside the box and took out the box. I examined the cartridge and read Mario.EXE on it, which was weird, because I noticed that the letters was scratchy and messed up. Aside from that, I felt really excited that it must be the new copy of the Mario game. I turned off the game. After I pressed save the file in the game, I put the cartridge in the NES and turned in the console. For 3 seconds, the Nintendo logo popped up and for a few seconds the logo starts glitching up before cutting to black. Then the title screen appeared. The screen looks the same, except that the letters 1 player and 2 players were not present. It was their names Mario and below him was Luigi. I wonder why Nintendo changed the names instead of 1 player and 2 players. Perhaps Nintendo decided to put the names in the title screen so they can choose between Mario and Luigi. Or maybe it was some kind of hackers that were doing this. It might be a fruitless guessing. I shrugged off the feeling thinking that it must have been a character select to choose one and the other, so I picked Mario first. When I picked Mario, it didn't progress. I tried it again but it's not working, so I won't be able to play as Mario. Damn it. Well, the only thing I would play now is Luigi. When I press his name, the title screen turns something different in the split second before it cuts to black. The sky was red. The green field in the background turned yellow with those red pupils in those black eyes that were bleeding under them. The bushes were orange and they also had black eyes with red pupils and blood under its eyes as well. There was blood in the Super Mario Bros. Title with torches on the sides of the logo between. The world level was now E0 and time has spelled K on it. The names were changed into a disturbing sight of it. It was immortal and down below was he must dead. Wait. Mario is immortal and Luigi will must be dead? Why would he want to do that to his own brother? The word God was there with the number 5403. What does that mean? That doesn't make any sense. The logo Nintendo 1985 was now Nintendo 666. The most freakiest part was that Mario also had his black eyes with red pupils just like the bushes and field had, and his clothes were dull. The screen went black for 5 seconds and then the game starts as normal. The screen came on, as Luigi appeared in World 1-1 but he was already grown tall, which is odd, so I ignored it and start playing. When I encountered the block and jumped up to hit it. But for some reason, it didn't do anything. I tried the other blocks but it wasn't working either. Did the developers or maybe the hackers forgot to make the block hit to get the coin or the mushroom? Maybe this game needs a little more work. Anyways, I ignored all the blocks and tried go down the pipe but it didn't do nothing as well. So I guess I have to go forward then, since I can't do anything about it. There were no enemies either. The timer showed 000. Guess I was lucky that I was able to go on without any problems. When I got onto the blocky edge and jumped to grab on the flagpole. But Luigi stopped by himself with my widened eyes. I wasn't sure when did it happen, until I saw why. It was Mario on the side of the screen, with those black eyes and red pupils, with blood under its eyes just like the title image. He laughed with the voice that seems too impossible for NES. And it doesn't sound like it came from the Mario games. Mario then got his torch out and walked towards the castle then stopped in front of the castle entrance. He looked at Luigi with sadistic smile before putting the torch inside the entrance. Suddenly, The Toads run out of the castle screaming, while being burned to death, and Mario ran off quickly, as the castle was on fire. The spikes come out of nowhere from the above, and I didn't have time to react. The spikes kills Luigi as well as the castle, and I was taken back to the beginning of the level. I was stunned of what I just seen. What the hell happened to Mario? Why did he burn the castle on fire when Toads are inside? Mario wouldn't do that to this innocent people, unless he might be possessed by some demon or something. I then go through this again and found this twisted plumber. Mario burns the castle and Toads inside, and ran off. Then the spikes appears and I quickly run to avoid being impaled again. The spikes kept on coming from the sky trying to stab me. Luckily, the blocks were above me, which gives me more time to run. I then found the pipe and ran inside. The screen went black and the text appeared. It says, "Hello, Luigi. I want to play with you." Then the level starts up and I entered the 1-2 world in the underground level. The song wasn't the underground theme. It was some creepy soft music. There were corpses of Toads split into multiple pieces in the floor. This makes me feel sick to my stomach. I walked on to explore this underground. I suddenly stopped and saw someone running fast above me to the right, which happens to be the demonic Mario. I could feel that he was trying to make an ambush. I don't know if he is, but he'll wield me. I continue on and I'm at the edge and fell onto the ground and then turned left. I then stopped and saw a green, suspicious-looking mushroom with dark green spots on it. I'm not sure if I can trust this mushroom and didn't want to find out what will happen if I try to eat that mushroom, so I jumped over the dullest green mushroom, ignoring it. I noticed another green mushroom up ahead, and there were lots of them. I jumped over it to avoid of what was going to happen to him. I kept jumping over them, while going down on the left and turned right. When I went down on the right, I unexpectedly landed into the green mushroom, which I didn't see that coming. Luigi then starts coughing violently and lets out a vomit before it vomits blood. He went limp onto his knees and laid his face in the floor, dead. I knew there was something fishy about this mushroom. There would totally poison you and makes you wanna throw up terribly and die. I'm back at the beginning at the top. Okay, now this starts to annoy me. I will go through all the way down to the bottom, while avoiding the poisonous green mushrooms, and I jumped over the amount of mushrooms from touching it. When I finally went down to the left, Mario surprisingly showed up at the edge, and I fell on the ground. The spikes are coming from the right side of the screen to try and stab me. I quickly jumped to avoid the spikes, and one last spike came fast and I jumped up before it could get me. Phew, that's over with, I said to myself. I then moved in to find the exit. Surprisingly, I encountered Toad, who looked alive and well. But something's bothering me. Why does he have his eyes closed? I think he must have had a deep thought about something. So I went towards to try and talk to him. But as soon as I got close to him, the screen changes to a jump scare of Toad became a zombie with those black and red eyes with blood under it and has sharp teeth in him, which make me jump. The screen came back the underground level, as Toad lunges towards me and the meter appeared. I press the B button quickly to get him of me. It has the green and red line in between. The green line is, when I press the B button, it would break free from his grasp. But the red line is, when it got close to the left, he would maul you to death. I don't want that to happen. I successfully got to the end at the meter and unexpectedly cut his head off, decapitated him. I was shocked. What the hell? Did I murder Toad? No. It must be some kind of demon Toad like the one when it was the demon Mario. I was sweating with fear. What the hell is happening here? Was this some kind of sick joke? Nintendo couldn't make this, did they? No. It has to be a hack of some kind. Maybe the game was made by some crazy people and approaching the darker tone for the Mario game. Where did anyone found this cartridge? Where did it come from? I entered the pipe and the message appeared and said, that which waits for you in the lock will soon leave. Listen, listen. Who's that? I don't know any person named Listen. Was he the guy who just played the game? I don't know what's going here, but this is starting to get suspicious. And I reached the 1 to 3 world. The sky was pitch black and I could hear demonic laugh. There was message described in blood. It said, "Hello, Luigi. I want to play with you. Are you ready?" There were platforms like in regular 1 to 3 world. Another message in blood said, "Rules are simple, you should not fall, differently you will die." I continued inward by jumping on the other edges until another message appeared. "Remember, Luigi, time you in a hell count only in a devil." Later, I saw devil drawn in bloody red color and a message with one word, "Jump." I jumped down with another message, "Has seen? The devil wants to help you to help lot." When I got to the end, the devil appeared with the message. I jumped down again thinking I might landing on another platform. But to my shock, I noticed the cliff was few inches away from me. Damn. I missed. I fall down until Luigi died. His body parts were shattered everywhere, cracked to breath, and the last message was finished. "Has seen? The devil wants to help you to your own death." I was frustrated. I started to think that the game was starting to play mind games with me, and I was back after 20 minutes. When I reached the devil image, I jumped further, and I landed in brick floor. Before I can continue, I realized about something. I need to phone someone at Nintendo of America. Maybe I hope that they might know about this different, and yet, creepy game. I paused the game and turned off the screen. I picked the phone up to call Nintendo of America to see if he has anything to do with this game. The phone was picked up and one of the employees of Nintendo spoke to me. "Hello." "Yes, hello. I'd like to ask you a question, if I may." I asked, hoping to get some answers from one of them. And the employer said, "Sure. What is the problem?" he said. "Well, I got the strange copy of Super Mario Bros. In NES and the cartridge was named Mario.EXE. And I was wondering, do you know anything about this?" "Oh, no I haven't. Why?" the employer said, confused of what I said to him. "Oh, well, the game starts acting up lately and end up having disturbing stages and messages. But not only that, Mario seems to be some kind of possessed or something. I don't know what the hell is happening to him. He had those black eyes with red pupils and it was bleeding from his eyes. He also tried to kill Luigi at some point," I said. And he replied, "I see. Well then, keep an eye in the game. I'll go and talk to Ruby and see what I can do. Just hang on tight," he said. "Okay, bye." I hanged the phone up. I then decided to relax on the couch and staring the cartridge thinking about something. Should I get rid of the cartridge or should I wait for the employer to sort it out? It's hard to think of what would I do. My eyes then starts closing and began to fall asleep. It was then my nightmare has begun. I opened my eyes to see the living room looking dull and gray. It has blood in the walls and it has decapitated heads of toads in the sticks in my house. I was frightened of what I just seen. I then hear the thumping sounds. It was coming from the shadow up the stairs. It walked down until it revealed to be a zombie toad staring at me with hunger in his eyes. He then let out a vicious shrieking roar. I quickly got up and ran out of the door. The zombie toad came after me on foot. I ran through the field in fear. The field was appeared to the Mushroom Kingdom, except everything was on complete fire around me. The zombie toad nearly banged upon me. I saw the cliff that would for me to jump over. Zombie toad then tried to jump on me, until I jumped over the cliff and he missed, as he fell down to his death. I then run to the dead end at the cliff. Down below, it has the amount of zombie toads that were waiting to devour my flesh. No, what do I do? I cried. It wasn't until I heard an awful laugh behind me at the pipe. It was Mario who was slowly coming out of the pipe. He was in his modern form, except he has blue shirt and his overalls are red. He jumped off the pipe and spoke in his deep voice. "Hello, Jones." I was terrified. Did he just know my name? How? He began to walk towards me. "Having fun with my game?" I thought so. "It won't be long now until you became one of us," Mario said with his creepy smile in his face. As soon as he got close to me, he grabbed my shirt and pulled me to his terrifying face. "You're plenty easy to toy with, kid. Just wish I could have said the same for your dearly departed friend, Cataly." I shouted fearfully, "What? How do you know my friend, Cataly?" Then he spoke. "Why, I've been playing with her in her mind just before I could snatch her soul, after I cut her chest open." The word struck me in my heart. "YWW what?" I stuttered. "Oh, come on. It's only a bit of fun," Mario taunted. "And besides, I'm not the hero that you knew and loved." I gasped that I hear of what he just said. "So, there's nowhere to run now, kid. You're in my world now, and much like the Toads and Cataly. And soon, Luigi and Peach, you're going to be one of my soul's collection for all eternity." Mario then pushed me off the cliff and fell straight to the zombie toads who had their hand out ready to eat me. As I was about to land into them, I awoke from my dream with a fright. I was sweating in fear and looked around that I was back in my room. "Cataly," I cried softly. "He just killed my best friend. How could he? She was my close friend, to which I considered her as my sister. Before Cataly was killed, it was at one time, when we were teenagers, we used to play Super Smash Bros. Brawl on the Wii. We won against the Ottomans, Bowser and Wario, their arch nemesis. And we high-fived at each other due to our great friendship. But now, she's gone. So, it was time for me to avenge her death, and then stop Mario and possibly free him from the devil itself. So I went to my room and turned the screen on to where I left off. I unpaused the game and proceeded to the castle and got greeted with the message, "Luigi, look back. Look back." I have a bad feeling that something was right behind me. I returned to the edge in the brick floor. Mario was there and Peach, who had a shocked expression. Mario looked at him and laughed. He turned back to focus on her and pushed Peach off the cliff. She screamed, which is too impossible for Nez. "No," I cried, as she died with blood splatter on the ground. Back up. Mario suddenly ran right and decapitated Luigi at the last minute, before I could get a chance to react. I repeated the level and this time I jumped to avoid him from being decapitated. I went to the castle and the message changed. "You're next." There was I didn't see coming when I entered the castle. In a split second, it changed to a realistic picture of Mario, with the black and red eyes which was wide with blood under it and has a sharp darkish gray fang screaming loudly. I covered my ears, because it was loud. Then the screen went black and the message appeared, "It has come your turn." With one life left, I was in 1 to 4 world. Demonic sound was heard. The level looks like Bowser's castle. It showed the satanic symbols that I had ever seen. The symbols was sound like there is a devil in the game. I don't like the sound of this. After a few minutes, it went to static. Another symbol and the screen starting to go with static again 5 times. Then after a 5th long static, there was blood everywhere. This is starting to creep me out. It wasn't, until I found Mario standing here waiting for me. "Alright, it's time for you to put an end of your misery, demon. Now, take this," I shouted, as I ran towards him and tried to attack him, but he disappeared in a blood-red fog, before I could try and tackle him, much to my shock. The fog started to fill the castle at the background. I quickly went left to find the exit, but it didn't progress, so I guess I had no other choice. I went to the right to find another way, until it was gone. Before I could possibly find a way out of this, Mario was coming after me with a blade. I jumped, but he jumped after me and killed Luigi. Blood was shown splattered in the black background. The demonic sound started, and it showed Mario with red eyes and realistic blood in him. Toad's head was hanging on the wall with the blade, and Luigi's head was stabbed in another blade. In a blood background there was a message written with blood, "Game over." I think I get it what he just said now, this is not the real Mario. This Mario was a complete monster. He lures you into playing this game. This game was actually a gateway which he can literally drag you from the real world into living hell. And the title in the cartridge. That's his name. His name is Mario.EXE, the god of the nightmarish mushroom kingdom. The screen went static for 5 seconds and then the message appears to have Japanese text. I couldn't read what it says, so I used the phone to translate it. Maybe we can go to hell for what you do not. Maybe we'll go to hell thing you do not recognize. The end of the case will never come. What could that mean? It must have sounded like the worship of the devil. I checked the cartridge in the console and looked around it until I noticed that it was a note on the back of the cartridge. It was my best friend, Callie, before she was killed. I picked the console up at the back and read the note. "Jones, you gotta help me please. This cartridge was made of a nightmare game, a sick twisted game. Quick, destroy the cartridge. I have suffered from a horrible nightmare for days. I beg of you, Jones. It's too late for me, now. He already got me right just about now. Please, Jones. Just do it. Callie." I'm stunned of what she just said in the note. How could I be so stupid? I should check the note first, before I would play the game. This is all my fault. I should destroy it when I had the chance. I have to destroy it right away. I began to pull the cartridge out, but it was stuck. I pulled harder and harder. It was no use. That wasn't, until I hear a voice from the screen. "Give up, Jones." I looked up to see Mario.EXE staring at me with a sly grin as the red spiraling abyss portal was behind him. "You'll never destroy this cartridge. Not when it was on my possession. So what are you going to do now, punk?" I narrowed my eyes at him and said, "Well, at least you won't try and torture me any longer, because I got the mallet with me so I could get rid of this cartridge for good." "It's too late for that now, boy. You are going straight to hell with me." I yelled never. I took my mallet and attempted to smash the cartridge. But as I smashed it, it breaks the top of the hammer, and I was shocked that my hammer was broken in half. The cartridge is too strong to be broken. I slowly looked at him, who puts his hands on his hips, looking amused, and said, "You silly boy. I told you that it was too late to destroy my cartridge. It's unbreakable. So, it's my turn now." Mario.EXE pulls out his blade. I quickly ran for my life and about to get to the door, until he jumped out of the screen and lunged towards me with his blade. He jumped on me and began slashing me all over my body, and my blood splattered on the wall. He then slashed my eyes and everything went black. Normal pod. 1 day later after Jones' death, the cops have arrived along with the employer of Nintendo, because one of the neighbors heard a wreck last night and called the cops to investigate on what was going on in there. The cops break the door open and find everything broken. They went split up to find clues around the house. One of the cops found the pieces of the strange cardboard with the bloody message. It says, "Oh, now highest below log whitey Ronnie so and he same DIRs." The others did so and saw the bloody trails just like the cardboard says. They went upstairs to follow the trail, which then leads to Jones' bedroom. It has blood-ridden door on it. CHKH is wrong. The chief then slowly opened the door, and to their shock and horror, there was blood everywhere around the room. The cartridge, Mario.EXE, is still on the NES console, and Jones' body was nowhere to be seen except that his hand was cut off, as the blood was straight under the screen. They slowly approached the screen and saw one last blood text in the screen: "Welcome to hell."